Welcome to episode 102. We've got a great episode for this time around. It is Spring Creek Model Trains is with us. We've got Mike and Jeff from over there, and it's a really good episode. So stick around because guess what? We're going to get this show on the tracks. Welcome, everybody. Episode 102. And as we stated in the intro, and as I'm sure you read in the title, we have Spring Creek Model Trains with us. They're out of Deschler, Nebraska. We've got Mike and Jeff over there. They are one of, or I should say, they are two of the people who go to shows. And as you'll hear, so does their parents, Mike and Deb. And you'll hear more about them. Very excited to have them on. Great interview. Now, this episode's going to be slightly different, the way it's set up, because they were kind of crunched for time, and I didn't want to take up any more of their time. So this little segue part from here, before we get into the interview, in between there, we're actually going to have our ads, promotional ads that that we do, and then we'll jump into that. So I'm very appreciative of both of them to take time out of their busy schedule and busy day to come on here and talk about Spring Creek Model Trains and what they're all about and that kind of thing. So it's a great interview. I'm super excited to have them on here. Before we move on to that, I know the last couple episodes I have not read from our 400 plus interesting train facts, and that is my fault, but also the time of the length of the episode. I want to kind of keep it as short as I can within reason, and they've been a lot longer, which it is what it is sometimes. So this one, we're not going to do that either, but we will get back to that down the road. Don't forget, and we'll mention it at the end as well. Don't forget, go to our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com. A few weeks left to be able to get your entry in for the Broadway Limited giveaway, $50 gift certificate giveaway. If you want a second entry, head on over to patreon.com/Model Railroad Talk. Become a premium supporter by that date, and we will automatically enter you into our, or give you a second entry, I guess. Let's put it that way. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Steve L. Thank you for your support. He sent in a support to Model Railroad Talk, which helps us going. Plus, he's helping me work on the drawing of the railroad. So Steve, thank you again. I really appreciate it. So enough of me talking. Let's move right in to our discussion with Mike and Jeff from Spring Creek Model Trains. I've messed that up. So but you get the gist. Spring Creek Model Trains. Let's get right into that.
Are you tired of seeing the same old clean trains on your layout? Do you want realistic rolling rust buckets or something that looks like it's been around a few years? What about a grimy oil stained locomotive? Alan at Alan's N Scale World is just your guy. He specializes in custom weathering of any scale and has 3 different stages of weathering to choose from. He also hand paints some of the coolest N scale semis and trailers on the market. Get a hold of him today to find out what he can do for your model railroad. You can find him on Facebook at Alan's N Scale World or email him directly at allansnscaleworld@gmail.com. Alan's N Scale World, bringing you scale creations from real-life situations.
Union Pacific fans, are you looking to expand your heritage fleet? Broadway Limited Imports has you covered with 2 prototypically accurate passenger cars, perfect for your steam excursion train or office car special. Coming to HO and shipping this fall, BLI is proud to introduce Power Car number 2066 and Fox River Theater Inspection Car. These stunning models feature road-specific details, accurate era-specific paint schemes, color-matched finishes to blend seamlessly with Walther's excursion cars. Just like their popular Kennefic cars, these will be the perfect addition to your UP excursion train. Whether you're running steam or diesel power, don't wait. Place your order by April 24th to secure yours.
Calling all model railroaders and railroad enthusiasts. The Hawkeye Model Railroad Club and ScaleSigns.com are proud to sponsor the 5th annual Iowa City Train Show on Sunday, October 19th at the Johnson County Fairgrounds in Iowa City, Iowa, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy 2 buildings packed full of model railroad items in scales HO, N, O, and more, along with railroad memorabilia of all shapes and sizes. Admission is just $5 for adults, with kids 12 and under free. Don't forget to also check out the Hawkeye Model Railroad Club's layout progress down at their club building, open to the public for free all day long. Interested in being a vendor or displaying your organization or model railroad layout? Check out our website at www.hawkeyemodelrclub.com/2025 train show. The 5th annual Iowa City Train Show, sponsored by ScaleSigns.com and the Hawkeye Model Railroad Club on Sunday, October 19th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Johnson County Fairgrounds in Iowa City, Iowa. We'll see you at the show.
And we have some very special guests with us. I'm excited to have them on here, and we're just going to jump right to who they are. We have Mike and Jeff from Spring Creek Model Trains here. I've been excited. I've been looking forward to getting them on the show, and we finally have them on the show for you guys to listen to their amazing stories. So, Mike and Jeff, thanks for coming on the show, and you are extremely welcome to the show anytime.
Well, we really appreciate you having us on. This is going to be awesome today. So,
yes, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yep. So we're just going to jump right to it. So I'll throw the question out there, and I'll let you guys kind of decide who wants to start first. How long have you been into model railroading?
Well, probably 45 years for me.
Oh, wow.
This is Jeff.
Yeah, same for me, Gary. I don't. Probably 40 years for me. I'm the younger brother. So, but what did we start with? We started with 4x8.
No,
right?
4x4 sheet of plywood with a circle on it.
I don't even remember that thing. So that's how long ago I've been in the train. So,
Yeah.
Right.
I remember the 4x8. We had a 4x8 figure 8.
Yep. Layout.
Had a
over.
Yep, coal mine, and had a reversing loop that we couldn't figure out for years on how to throw the toggle to get the trains back out. But
Right.
I think that was just young.
Yeah. Yeah. Being
not
too young.
Yeah.
Learn through experience.
Well, after that, here we actually had a group of a model railroad club here in the Clare County. We had another guy in a neighboring town we knew, and him and Dad put together a informational meeting, and they started a club. So then we went around with modular tables for several years.
Yep.
And then, of course, as we got older, there was a break in there, of course. You know, as you get a teenager, you're off doing sports, chasing girls, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In college and all that. And then I really got back into it probably first right away. And then Mike wasn't too long after that. He was farther than I think any of us. He had an operational layout that was having op sessions on.
Oh, the one Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, I lived in Albuquerque. Had a extra bedroom in the apartment my wife and I were in. And by that time, I had switched to the correct scale of N scale. So we got going on the N scale side and made a sweet little layout. I don't know. It was kind of an L-shaped little layout. So, yep.
Right.
We've done I don't know. We've been in this for a while, so we've done a lot of crazy stuff, but most of our stuff's never made it past plywood prairie or styrofoam with white plaster. So
yeah.
And I think that's a lot of people. They get to that point where they get that far in, and then it's like, oh, I I want to do this, or I want to change this, or I want to add that. And then it's, you know, you get to the point where it's like, do you continue on and waste more? I guess in some aspect, waste more material, or, you know, so I know that's with my railroad. It's like I finally got to the point. I'm like, I'm tired of looking at all this plywood. I painted it, and then I actually have a few spots that I'm actually starting to put
Oh,
scenery
that's
down.
awesome.
Just so you have to get some momentum, I guess.
Yep. Yep.
So what are some of your guys' earliest memories of like model railroading, like or trains or anything like, something that really, I guess, if you hear or see something really brings back the memories.
Right now, I guess for me, it's just the watching of the trains. Um, that's what I remember as a kid. Our dad and I guess mom would go too, but usually his dad and Jeff and I would go train watching. There's a Union Pacific main line about 10 miles north, 12 miles north of us, something like that.
Yep.
And we'd go up there and watch trains all the time, and just seeing, and it was a coal traffic, so still seeing a coal train today, even though they don't look this. I mean, they're much more of a hodgepodge mixture of cars. That still brings back memories for me. I mean, that's
Yeah,
some of the earliest ones I got.
Sure.
that's a good one. For me, I would say when I go to a show and you see a layout group set up,
Mm.
and especially if they have an operational yard where they're switching cars, that's where Mike and I found our niche, what we really love in the hobby, which is operations, and
Okay.
um, that just brings back a lot of memories of just building trains in the yard we had on our
Yep.
club layout.
Yep. We used to mix and match all the club members' cars.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
it was a challenge at the end of the weekend of setup
To
sort everybody's back out. So
Right. Well, that's
yeah,
cool.
that really really brings it home every time for me.
that's
So,
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how little things can trigger those fond memories from a kid, whether, even outside of railroading, but keeping it with in spirits of model railroading. It's the same thing. I have certain things that I'll see or hear, and it just brings me back to those early days, and it's always a nice memory.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
So, do you guys currently have a model railroad, and if so, what scale do you model in?
I'll start that
Go
one.
for
So
it.
the answer is no,
Oh,
but we are at the point of starting it. So we spent probably a good 2 years on designing it, making sure we can meet everything. I'm trying to build I'm an HO scale.
mhm.
I model the Montana Rail Link. My layout will be Montana scenery, but it's fictitious because while there's a lot of industry in Montana, it's very spread out because it's a large state. So I wanted to be able to do more switching and whatnot. So I condensed a lot of things together. And then it's also being built on a grade, so there will be a helper district
Oh,
to
awesome.
push trains over. It's still more or less for show, but it'll be fun to do. So
Right. Yeah, I guess modeling Montana, you would have to condense it. Otherwise, you could fill up a whole basement going
Yeah.
from one industry to another.
right,
He's got a real nice basement, L-shaped room. What the
Mhm.
long sides are 22 or something.
something like that.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's nice. It's going to work out good. The grade's going to be pretty cool and stuff. So,
Nice. How
but yeah,
about
I
you?
don't. I'm currently I model in N scale. I model the Southern Pacific in N scale as a fictitious that they actually lived longer than they actually did. So like a modern SP that's actually making money. So and it's a fictitious route of the where the DNRG bought the Rock Island across Kansas and Iowa up into Chicago, and then this would be modern SP running across Kansas. I
Oh,
got close to an operating layout of that dream when I lived in Omaha, but had to tear it down for moving because of job requirements, and moved, and it ended up in storage here in Deshler, and then I ended up moving here to chase it. So
Yeah,
it's still in storage though. So,
yeah.
but I got a new room trying to figure that out. So
so is it can we ask, or should I even ask? Is it still Plywood Pacific, or is there at least a little bit of scenery on it?
No, it's Plywood Pacific. I was just getting close to the Golden Spike. I mean,
Yeah, we were close.
yeah, we had the single track peninsula to finish up before, but then anyway, job requirements at the time.
Sure. Darn job always gets in the way.
Sometimes, right? So.
I guess maybe not in your guys' case. I mean, that's probably pretty nice.
Well, former jobs.
Former jobs, yeah. Former job requirements, yeah.
Right.
This job, we like to joke that we work for our dealer. So there's always something that we want to put on our layaway or whatever that shows up or we find in the store. It's like, oh cow, what happened? So,
yeah, it's really dangerous to be out there sorting the shelves.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like, oh, maybe I need that. And it's like, you really don't.
No. I found this, Jeff. Hey, look at this. Don't you think this would fit with the modern SP world? He usually tells me no anymore. So.
Yeah. Let's get the modern SP running first and then we'll add.
Yeah. Well, I totally get that. There's certain things that I'm like, well, it's like, I can tell you right now, last year's train show here in the Quad Cities, I bought from actually your mom and dad there at the Quad City one, and I bought the scale trains. I think they just released first or second run of the BNSF sound equipped reefers.
Oh yeah,
and they had 3 of them there, the sound equipped ones, and I'm like, I'm not modeling anything reefer on my railroad, but how cool would it be to have sound equipped cars? So I ended up buying them, and I mean, they're still in the box, but they'll come out for show once in a while. That was one of them things I should have told myself no, but you can't.
John told me, because that's totally me. I've done that so many times. It's just like, and then I look at what I have, and it's like, oh man,
did I really need
to have to get creative on the train symbols? So.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, well, let's just move in. Tell us about Spring Creek model trains, your location. I guess obviously you guys sell trains, but do you offer anything outside of that kind of thing? So let's kind of dive into Spring Creek model trains.
Well, I guess I'll take that one. So this is Dad's dream. It was always his goal to own a model train store. So they started it in the year 2000. Mike and I were both pretty much out of college at that point, but so they decided to invest the money they were making on their construction business to start this. And it just started off as a traveling hobby show, going to train shows on the weekends and dealing with that. But of course, a lot of vendors or manufacturers require a brick and mortar. So we had several brick and mortar locations that the one that was kind of the permanent one ended up, the building got sold. So then we were given, you had to move. Okay. And that led to where we are now in Deshler. It's the folks have always lived here. But this building was available, and we kind of waited for the price to come down, and
came together
here, and here we are.
It's an old grocery store, so it's well sized for what we do and retail and stuff. So.
Yeah, it was never originally envisioned. I don't think it was ever envisioned to really stay in Deshler because of the limitations of folks. We do have one young man who is in the model trains here in the town, so that's pretty cool to have a local.
It's the Zuckers and our buddy Austin.
Yep. That's it. Yep. But that's okay too. So, what is it? About 8 years ago, Dad came to me and I'd always kind of mentioned that I'd like to come back, and when I was done with my information technology career, it's like, well, I could kind of run that hobby store to kind of finish out. And Dad kind of came to me and goes, I need to know if you're serious, because your mom and I are at a point where we've taken it as far as we can with our knowledge, and we need you to kind of come in and take it that next level, make it more e-commerce. And it's like, are you going to do this, or we need to start winding this down? And it's like, well, okay. So I asked my wife, and she kind of said, well, I have a news for you. I want to be a stay-home mom. I was like, oh, okay. So we jumped at coming down here and doing this, and been here ever since. It's had its ups and downs for sure. Working with family is a challenge outside
I'm sure.
of just regular work life, but it's been good. We've been growing really well, and I get to do what I like, which is loading the stuff on the website. So, or decoder installs. I've done some of that, learning there still, but it's interesting. Do you have anything to add, Mike?
Yeah, so I came to the store 4 or 5 years ago now, something like that. So I got a call from Jeff basically saying, "Don't forget about this as an opportunity." So it was a time for a career change for me. I was doing civil engineering work for the Union Pacific, doing track design and construction type stuff. So it was just time to make a change out of corporate railroad. So came back, started doing this. Yeah. Everything else is kind of echoes what Jeff said. But
nice.
It's definitely nice, more or less working for yourself.
Oh yeah,
right.
Not saying the work is any. I mean, it's still work. I mean, it's not a.
And there's a lot more
games, but
probably even more hours, right? Being, small business. So.
Right. So you said, just to verify, you guys are in Deschler, Nebraska. And do you guys have specific scales? Because some hobby stores only do certain scales. I guess. Well, let me back up. Are you guys a model railroad only shop, or do you offer other hobbies?
No, we're a model railroad shop. That's what we do. We focus in on HO scale and then N scale. Okay. We do carry just a little bit of O scale. We got a little bit of Lionel track and things like that around, but the main focus of the store is HO and N scale. Those are the two biggest markets that are out there. Jeff and Dad really has always been in HO scale. He got both of us into HO scale when we started. Jeff stayed there. I switched to N scale, I don't know, in teenage years, I guess, if I remember right. I just always liked that part of it. So
right.
I kind of joke every once in a while with customers, I'm the reason there is N scale at Spring Creek. So I don't know if they would have had it otherwise, but they might have.
Right.
But that's our focus. And for our local community, I mean, we've had a couple RC guys around and we're able to get RC stuff, but that's just people here within like 5 minutes of our store, right? That we mess around with that. So.
Right. On stock, basically. Just order for.
Yeah. We'll order stuff in for them if they want it, right? Otherwise, we like to have stuff. I mean, we do order things in for customers, right? You can't. There's so much in model trains. You can't have everything in a store, at least in our opinion.
No.
Because we really like to have it to where if our inventory says we have it, it's on the shelf to where you can find it. And
right.
That's the same stuff that's getting sold on the internet. So we do have a warehouse. We keep that inventory separate. We try to transfer things back and forth. And we travel to train shows. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling at this point.
Right.
But we travel to train shows. So Mom and Dad are on the road a lot. Jeff and I will go out every so often too and cover shows.
Sure.
But yeah, that's a whole separate inventory from what you see on our internet or if you would come to the store. So.
Oh, you're traveling is a totally different inventory than the store. Yep. Interesting.
So we're not. So like if you find a locomotive right on our website, it's I'll say 98% of the time it's here in the store. 99% of the time it's here in the store, right? It's not in the trailer. But sometimes you get off, right? I mean, when you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of SKU numbers, it's you make a mistake every once in a while, and so then we go try to find it. So.
Yep.
Well, and I can attest to that because, like I was telling you guys before we actually got recording, I'd ordered several decoders from you guys, and your website. There was one that I really wanted. You only had one, and I was wanting a few more. But the thing is everything I ordered, not only was it shipped out the next day, I mean, or that was the amazing thing. It actually shipped out the next day, where I have a feeling that other places, they don't ship until they actually order it and get it in, where you guys have it in stock.
Yep.
And that was really, really nice that I was able to place the order. And I want to say within roughly 12 hours or less, I had confirmation that, or maybe a little longer, overnight or whatever. But yeah, I had confirmation within 24 hours it was shipped, and that you just don't have that nowadays that much.
And we're not always that good. I'll be honest. I mean, some days, and sometimes it takes us 2 or 3 days to get the shipment out, and it just depending on what our workload's going on and what's
Right.
happening. Like I mentioned, we're a small outfit, right? There's
we're a
six
crew of 6 people.
Yeah, 6 or full-time people, right? So and there's a lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
So Danny, our full-time shipper, right? Sometimes he gets backed up, or other times we need him to do some other stuff for us, inventory or warehouse work and stuff like that. We'll get behind, but that's our goal, right? Within a day.
Yeah.
If it's
And that's
the
reasonable.
second day, that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of what we want to be. But to your point about inventory, we, I guess we grew up here in Deschler. As Jeff said, Dad and Mom grew up here in Deschler. So we've never had a hobby store close by. But when we traveled and went to hobby stores, we wanted to look at stuff, right? You made the effort to get to that store. You want to look and see it, put it in your hands, or you went to a train show, right? There's countless memories of driving to train shows as kids, right?
Oh yeah.
Just shopping that whole place, right? And running around, kind of finding what you want, right? I don't running around, and it's not like we're hooligans out there, but we were shopping the booths, right, and seeing what we wanted. But
right.
That's what we want as a store, right? We want you to be able to come in and look, right? And that's a fine balance. And we're learning.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot. We're getting that figured out on how to balance the inventory versus, making sure families are taken care of, right? So.
Well, and from my personal opinion, you guys are doing an excellent job. I have no complaints. The website is awesome. I love how I can go on there and it tells you, great job, Jeff. It tells you, well, prime example, there was one decoder I was wanting several, that I think there was the Digitrax DH127 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I like having extras of those. And I think you guys, that one they were closing out, or whatever model they were closing out. And I wanted like 3 or 4, and I think you guys only had 1 or 2. But I mean, it tells you immediately there wasn't any of this ordering it and then getting an email down the road saying, hey, we only have this. So, you guys are, as far as the website goes, I think it's, you guys are doing an excellent job with that. And I'm actually, I got to find time, but I want to stop in because I know Eric talks highly of you guys. So
Eric's been a friend for a while now. So since I've come back, I think I met him the first year that I came back, and he's always fun to talk with, right? Eric going to pay, right? So it's just, and it's a whole nother level of model trains for me, is talking to him of what rideable scales are all about. It's like, that's awesome. That's something new. So that's cool.
That when he reached out to me on here and for the first time and started talking, I'm like, wow. And then when I got into 3D printing and he was asking me to help him with some of the parts, I'm just like, actually I printed out one of the parts. I'm like, really? I compared it to one of my HO ones. I'm like, Jesus, this thing's way bigger than even my HO scale, and it's just a grill,
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and I love giving him crap. I think the last time he was in there, he sent me a picture of an O scale well car, a pink one, and he's like, I don't know, I think I'm at work, right? And he's like, I don't know, because I think this is what I want to do for a ride-on car behind it. And he's like, I'm thinking about, this is what I'm going to get. And I set him back, get it. And then he ended up buying it. And And then he calls me, or I talk to him almost every day after I leave work, and he was like, "Dang you!" I'm like, "Well, you've done it to me, Eric.
Yeah,
So payback."
yeah, he even had to go test to make sure it fit in his saddlebag to get it
Yeah.
home. So I thought that was awesome. So
He sent me a picture of it. He goes, "Well, it fits." I said, "Well, I guess you're buying it."
that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, so before we move on here, is there anything as far as the website? Is there any improvements or anything people may be seeing new or exciting coming up with the website at all?
Well, we're adding to our inventory. So part of our websites is new to the company. So there's 20 years of hoarding SKU numbers.
Yeah.
Is the way I refer to it. So we're still catching up on a lot of the inventory. So
Sure.
if you don't see it, that doesn't necessarily mean we don't have it. You just gotta that's a phone call and email, and then we'll go look it on the shelves and see what we got for you. Probably the biggest improvement we're going to be shooting for is updating our search engine this year. I think it's okay. It's the filtering part that needs a lot of revamp work. It's too simple to help guys narrow down to what they're looking for. Because, like, if they type in Rio Grande, they can get a whole lot of stuff that doesn't really pertain to Rio Grande because some of the manufacturers, they say, well, this unit was an X Rio Grande, but it's painted in Union Pacific. Well, that comes up in the search, and it's like, I don't want to look at Union Pacific, so
Right.
well, we gotta work on that part. It's been we're learning on some things on that. So
we're gonna keep some of our digital that was out there, so that's another thing we're gonna be working on is getting the rest of that out. Right, we're behind on getting our. I mean, we're a Loke Sound dealer, right? We're a TCS dealer. We got some other odds in it, NCE, right? Cobalt, we got some of that around.
Yeah.
So we're going to be working on those and scenery, right? That's the other thing. And KDs, right?
Yeah.
Those are some of the big ones.
All that stuff is out there or available here. So
sure.
That'll be our biggest. Was just continue to plug away and get our inventory up there. It's going really well. Outside of the typical this time of year with the Chinese New Year, they really hurry up on their side to get things on its way. So then there's a whole lot of stuff coming in. So then it's tough. Get like some manufacturers I have done. So then when the new stuff comes in, I got to go back and add that in there so I keep it done versus letting it just pile up and keep people looking. So it's a challenge, especially.
It's a one-man shop right now on that.
One-man show doing it, but we got somebody we're hopefully to be working with here in the near future to help with that. And he's a model train guy, so that helps. That's a big learning curve because I can find somebody to do website additions. It's training the hobby. It becomes a hurdle that sometimes is not fun to climb, I guess, or get over. So for him having at least have been in the hobby, he might not know exactly how we want things, but that's the easier part. He'll at least understand what he's dealing with.
Right. At least knowing the basics.
Yeah.
Shoot, I can't even imagine that getting caught up. I mean, I know what a pain in the butt it was for me setting up my little shop to sell my podcast T-shirts. That's just a few items, not how many thousands of items you have. So I can only imagine. But there again, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I think the website up to this point is great. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So I guess we'll jump in. We have a few more questions here, but I guess I want to ask about, do you guys ever do, or do you have any like exclusive runs or anything like that you guys do?
Yeah, so Dad got into that early on when he started the Spring Creek Model Trains. He started doing some coal car exclusives back then, because really back when coal cars were first coming out, right, it was just all the major railroads that would get painted on the side. You wouldn't get the utility companies.
Mhm.
So we got into that, and that ended up going well in both scales. So, man, I think I lose count. We're probably up into the 30 different runs right now.
40.
Wow.
Oh, we're close to 40, Jeff says, or maybe 40. So right now this year we've so 2025, right? So we got uh, what just came in, the scale trains,
Evans 4780.
hoppers. So they're a Nebraska car. They're a Fairmont, Nebraska, and a Clay Center, Nebraska. We did 3 different road numbers of each paint scheme with scale trains.
Oh wow.
I think one of the places only had like 5 cars in real
Yeah,
life.
one of the
right?
two. I don't remember
Yeah.
which one.
But they're all prototypical cars. This is actually the right car for these paint schemes to be on, and this was back in the per diem days. So that's pretty cool. We've done a lot of different Rock Island stuff over the years, just because our hometown was on a Rock Island branch. Our grandpa worked for the Rock Island, so
Oh,
dad likes the Rock Island. So
Yep.
kind of some family history there. So we do a lot of different Rock Islands. We did some auto racks and some coil cars, right?
In HO scale is an auto rack and a coil car from
Yeah.
Intermountain.
In scale, we did
And
the
in
auto
scale,
rack.
we have the auto rack, and we have some stock available on all of that.
Yeah, very small on the N scale right now, very small. But that is there. We did. We got a couple more coming that we can't talk about yet. They'll coming out here in the real near future, so you'll be hearing that too, Gary. On some cool one. I'm personally
I'm
pretty
excited
excited
about
about. We did some cool stuff with Rapido on the Iowa Interstate M420s.
Yep.
So we did that with Rapido. We did a couple ski train cars with them. So I'm just, my mind's just kind of going on it. But
No, you're
there's
good.
stuff, it's fun. It's a fun part of what we do,
Mhm.
right? You also got to make sure you know how many you got in the works and what's going on, right? From a business standpoint.
Sure.
Because it is, from a hobbyist, man, I wouldn't want to do it all. I got all kinds of things I've probably seen over my life that I could think of that would be sweet to have. But can we do it? Can we have enough? Right? Can you sell it? Right? All those fun things. Just it's a very small piece of kind of what the manufacturers have to go through. But,
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I know I've read about it, and I think I've actually talked about it in the past. But yeah, the people that have complained about, oh, Scale Trains is doing a special run. Oh, gee, another Gevo or whatever. Well, and I had a conversation with it, and I know Ray Arnott from Around the Layout, he talked about it too, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. The manufacturers do what's in the end, they're in it to make money. Yeah, they enjoy the hobby and everything, but they still have to make money. If they are not making money at it, then guess what? We don't get our models that we want. So I guess doing special runs, you really have to be very decisive and do some research on and I guess trying to predict what's going to be able to sell because last thing you want to do is order in, I don't know how many cars you order in of them, but last thing you want to do is order 1,000 cars and then you sell one and then you're sitting on them for years and
yep.
you know and that affects everybody's trickle down economics basically.
Yep, that's right. I mean, you said it very well. I mean, we're in the same boat as the manufacturers.
Yeah.
We love trains, right? We're in this because we love model trains and we love real trains. And but at the end of the day, we got bills to pay too, right? We got families to take care of. We got employees to take care of, right? And we don't. We've gone through some challenges and we're learning from all those, and we're coming out the other side better at this. So, but that's part of this business.
Yeah.
And then learning from the other thing I want to add to that is that it's amazing our dad's ability to see certain cars and kind of know our Spring Creek model train customer base that he runs into at all these different train shows that, oh yeah, we can make this product probably happen, right? And then Jeff and I will get involved and start thinking about it too, right? And okay, we can promote that, right? And probably get sales from people we're not even expecting them, from wherever that we never see, right? Might like this car. So but that's kind of happened, and that's pretty cool. And Jeff's gotten a little more into it when Dad brings up the custom runs and thinking stuff through. So
Right.
pretty neat.
It's definitely a challenge for sure because you can. We've had a couple that did not go well.
Took a lot of years.
Took a lot of years to get rid of it. Actually, it took a special project to really get that one to go.
Tank car, yeah.
But when they do work well, it is super exciting.
It's just fun. I mean, it's fun to see the excitement from the customers on it. Right? We're seeing that with these Nebraska hoppers right now.
Right.
People are pretty excited about it. They're excited, like, what other cars go on this?
Right.
What other paint schemes would go on this car, right? From Nebraska.
When are you going to do another one?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
you got to time it all out.
The thing with a custom run is the manufacturer has to have their own production run coming. So if they're not doing it, then it's going to be a while kind of thing. So it's not that we don't want to, but it's to produce from the ground up is very expensive. Where tacking onto an already existing production run is where you can do it.
Yeah, especially in our world, and that's in every manufacturer that we've worked with, and I'm sure I've forgotten some of them, but you can see them all on our website, the previous exclusives.
Yep.
But they've all been great to work with, so that's a cool thing too about the hobby.
Now, let me ask you this, kind of a sideline question. Now, when you guys say do one of these special runs, because I've watched videos how the big manufacturers actually produce, how the process, I guess, if you will, of a certain, whether locomotive or car, the process of them getting the details and getting it to their plant for design, and then the whole production process. Now, do you guys have to take some of that role on? Okay, say these hoppers you're doing, did you have to go and do the actual research that, okay, these particular hoppers they didn't have 48 rivets on this side, they only had 47, or is that something
not quite that detailed?
Yeah. The research that we've done is like the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Tracking down the paint schemes and the pictures, that this is a legit car, this is a legit road number, right? And on this car, and then we're working. Really, the designer on the manufacturer's side is kind of doing more of that detail level part.
Okay.
Some of our cars, I guess, that's mainly the one I'm thinking of that we've done a little bit more of a role in that side is our 25th anniversary car that we did with KD.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had a little more insight because it's not a prototypical car / paint scheme on the car. I mean, it's a prototypical car. Say. The paint scheme doesn't make it prototypical because it says Spring Creek Model Trains on the side with our 25th anniversary logo. But so we had a little more say on what type of brake wheel, right, or what type of grab irons it got, and all those kind of things. But we used some of our good friend, or one of our really good friends that does model train design, for the hobby for one of the manufacturers. We were, hey, would you help us out with this? What do you think we should do? What would look good on this? So, but and he was awesome. Matt was awesome for us, helping us out.
So we'll help with the early part, paint scheme and that, and the designer kind of takes over. And then I guess we do get to see pre-production sample, at least pictures. Sometimes we get a pre-production sample where we have the physical and we can look at it and go, yes, that's exactly what we're looking for. We had an incident with the M420s from the Iowa Interstate. We reached out to guys who model the Iowa Interstate, and they came back and said, well, I found these 3 things wrong. He goes, and we're like, okay. He goes, there was one that just couldn't be lived with, so
Rita was able to get that
was able to get it redone and get it right, and it has been well received. I mean, even though it was a little later than we wanted it to have it come out correct, made all the modelers super happy.
Joe and it's got his Iowa Interstate layout up in the Omaha Council Bluffs area, and he was a big help for us. Just bouncing the ideas off of them that, hey, we're even thinking about this. What do you think? Right. To like, hey, can you help us with details? And he fed a bunch of pictures, right?
Sure.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's his railroad that he loves, right? And models. And like Jeff said, the Iowa Interstate Mafia, as they like to call themselves, they really like the M420.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
We're happy for being a locomotive. It was nerve wracking.
Yeah, that was our first ever locomotive.
But we're really happy with how it went. We're hopeful to do do another one in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. Oh, that sounds awesome. Like I said, I was curious because I've seen how the manufacturers go about it, but I suppose you guys would be, probably going to the ER with a concussion rack in your head every day trying to do
Yeah.
every detail for a special run. So, all right. So you guys do a lot of shows. Um, I obviously that's where you guys started out, or Spring Creek Model Train started out. Um, what do you see? Is it a positive I guess a positive site for the shows? Is do you guys foresee continuing to do that as long as you can see, or
Well, so I would kind of the philosophy of the company it's like a three-legged stool.
sure,
So you have to have your brick and mortar store, right, for people to come into. You have to have your e-commerce side, but then that third is that train shows. And in order for us to really cultivate a customer base is by going to train shows and meeting the customers at their location. We know we're not going to draw them to us consistently. Like they're not coming once a month or something like that. It's while they will order online, it's to be able to shake their hand, say how you doing, and all those kind of things is an important piece.
sure,
Will we continue to do train shows? Yes. Will we do as many as we do currently? No.
It's just not physically possible with
Right.
the 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 size of our store and the presence of our website, right? And just trying to the amount of stuff we got to keep up on to go everywhere. Once mom and dad say they're done traveling,
right,
Yeah. Well, as long as mom and dad are willing to, we'll let them keep traveling. I know they would like to slow down, and that's totally understandable, and we're hopeful to do that here in the near future.
Yeah.
I'm going to say. So we're still battling a few challenges, and we'll get there. But yeah, I think I tell everybody, I said there's probably 4 shows a year that are not negotiable. It's you're going whether the store is going whether you want to or not.
sure,
And there's been some times like had some cousins that had weddings and that fell on some of those weekends, and it's like okay, and I call the parent, mom and dad, and this is before I was with the store officially, and said, "Do you know that this happened? Your nephew scheduled this on this weekend, and do you?" I believe it's mom's side of the family, so I said, "Mom, do you want to go to those weddings?" She's like, "I'd love to." And so, all right, I'll fill in for you, and you just got to make all the apologies in the world for Dad and I not being there. And
we make choices, right? We have to do that kind of things, but that's the goal. Keep building the store, right? Building the brand through the website, doing things like this that people know about us more than just showing up at the show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, our customer base, our store was made through the shows, right? So,
right.
I think to Jeff's point there, we're never going to be completely 100% no shows, right? But it's got to be a balance for us, and that's something that's going to be a thing we'll figure out over the next couple of years, right? As we do this, because it is fun. I mean, we get to go and meet new people, right? Or meet old customers that we've seen before, right? And if you go to the same shows in the same region all the time, they're all kind of the same after a while, right? After you go several times. But then if you get to go to one in a different place, right, you get to see different guys, right? There might be a different collection that's out there that you never saw, or some vendor there that you've never seen before that's making custom loads or whatever. And
Right.
that's kind of fun. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a fun thing for us.
Oh yeah.
I mean, definitely working at a, we go out and shop, and we're shopping for our own personal railroads, right?
Sure.
When we're out there looking around, it's like, what do I, right? I need this detail, or, oh man, I saw that. Like, I had it happen to me in Denver last year, walking the show. Of course, it's kind of two edge here, but Intermountain, Hubert, I guess, back in the day, made an N scale skybox car, to haul airplane. And they did, SP had a real colorful one, right? Big red with gray on it. Hadn't seen it for
Years.
10, 15 years probably. And I know I don't have one, right? I have some of the brown ones that LBF did. But I found it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow, look at this on this guy's table, right? And ended up getting it, right? I don't know if I'm really ever going to run airplanes through my part of the SP network, but I still have it.
We're doing it anyway.
Of course, like 2 weeks later, Intermountain announces, hey, we're going to do skybox cars again. And they have that exact paint scheme. But the point is this is fun to get out there and look and see that different. Like if I was just going to my own hobby or train shows in my area, right? Never would have saw it, right? This guy doesn't travel that far, after talking with him. And it's kind of cool. I know you got stories like that.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeff and I are always looking for each other, right? Of different things. We get a bunch of text messages when we're out and about.
Right.
It's kind of fun.
It can be.
That part's fun.
Yeah.
And it's really, for me, it's the dread of going. It's like,
I don't want to. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Once you're set up and you're going, it's like, okay, yeah, I remember why we go. This is a lot of fun. Even if you're stuck to the booth the whole time because there's a lot of customers, it's still fun. It's fun to talk to them and help them out. And one of the things we get talked to all the time is how it's more and more difficult to find people that'll talk to a customer. A lot of times, not necessarily at a train show, but they're having a problem, and it's like, man, I can't even find anybody to talk to. It's like, well,
we'll try.
I'll give it a shot. What do you got? And then, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And it's like, man, I appreciate that. And it's like, hey, it's all.
I know means are we experts.
We're
yeah, but we've done a lot of different things. We've tried a lot of different things. We've messed up a lot of different ways.
Yep.
So we'll tell you, right? And here's what we would try and see if that works. So if not, let's talk again. Maybe we got another idea. I don't know, but.
Yeah.
Well, I can attest to the size of your booths. Seeing it, well, not only the one that I seen last year at the Quad City one, but when I was there at the Lincoln show, and yeah, absolutely. If anybody listening, my listeners are listening to this and never been to a show at Spring Creek Model Trains, you need to go, because your guys' booth is, I want to say, by far, in my mind, one of the most memorable booths. I mean, it's literally a hobby shop when you walk into it. And I know it was nice to be able to come over there and talk with you, Mike, about I think it was the proto throttle from Iowa Scaled Engineering, because I'd never seen one firsthand. And so by you guys being there and your setup, it's I don't know, I guess it's just, it's really no words can explain it, how nice it is that there's still a hobby shop out there that offers that.
I appreciate it.
So before we close out of here, you guys are having an special, and we want to get this out too. You guys are having an anniversary open house. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so here in 2025, so this is our 25th anniversary for Spring Creek Model Trains, and we are hosting our biannual train show / open house here in Deshler, Nebraska. It'll be on July 5th and 6th here in 2025. So we've done this show every other year. This will be our 5th show.
5th or 6th.
Yeah, 5th or 6th show that we've done every other year. So our little town is like 750, 770 people live here in Deschler. We will surpass that in attendance for our show for the weekend. The last couple have been in the 8 to 900 range that have made their trip out here to Deschler. We invite layouts from several different parts of the country. Again, it's bringing what part of our thoughts is one, we know them very well, and two is that if we can bring them here, they get to see. They'll also will see layouts from other parts of the country, right? And more of that community to be able to learn off of each other, and the people that make it here can see different things that maybe they don't see. We also are going to have manufacturers. We've had manufacturers every year, so a lot of them are signed up to come. For Intermountain and Athearn, Fisher Scale Trains has said they'll be here.
Yep.
Soundtracks will be here. ISE Broadway Limited's coming for the first time. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch. That's going to be pretty awesome. Our high school gym this year is actually just last summer they put in air conditioning for the first time in the high school gym. So we have reserved that location also. So we'll be in 5 different locations in our town.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that sounds daunting for somebody coming here, right? Everything's within like 4 blocks. Literally, you could walk anywhere and get to all of them. And we hand out maps so everybody can find where they need to go. And we put up little yard signs across town so everybody knows where different things are at. We'll have layout or clinics. Is another thing that we'll have going. So we may have 2 different clinic rooms going.
Nice.
And it's more informational clinics, right? Not hands-on type stuff. But yeah, we've been doing that every other year for the last 10 years.
Yep.
But this will be a big one with our 25th. We're looking, right, we have that car from KD's out. We're looking to do maybe 1 or 2 other things that'll be special for that weekend. So yeah, kind of excited about that.
Nice.
Jeff's got an event too, even before that. So here the month of April, right? So we do this every year.
This is an every year thing. So this started because of a train show that shut down for a few years. So the area Fremo guys had lost their show that they always set up at. So they're like, man, I missed that. And Dad's like, well, I'll rent the building if you guys come and put up a layout. And they're like, oh, okay.
That's cool.
So that's turned into quite an ordeal. We get a lot of people from all over. So we're here this year at the last weekend in April. We'll have a HO Fremo layout in our county event center here in town. And I got guys from at least 3 different states, maybe 4 different states now. Yeah. And it's going to be big. It's going to be fun. We got a lot of new guys coming with their stuff this year because the timing didn't work for some others, which is okay. It'll be a lot of fun to have new people involved.
And we open that.
And that's a free to come see that layout. So
we rent the building for an extra, it starts on Thursday. The renting starts Thursday, goes through Sunday. But that gives the Fremo guys Thursday and Friday set up. They can run trains privately, have some fun.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday, then we open it up to public, which is a free event to come check it out. And then we'll have extended store hours that weekend. But so then we try to help both sides, right? Let the guys that are setting up, doing the work, right, have some fun, have that camaraderie by themselves, right? But then, from our store and our brand, right, to be able to bring people here to Deschler to see something cool, right? Why they get to check out the store.
Right.
And then we try to have a concession stand and all that stuff going on, and we'll see how that all works out and go from there. But that's pretty fun. This year it's solely an HO setup.
Yep.
Our the N scale side, they had too many conflicts. So
they're going to be setting up during the big show.
Yep, they'll be at our July show. So there will be a big N scale Fremo at the July show this year. So that will be a first. We've never had Fremo at the.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we have. Sorry,
very
first one.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So anyway, that'll be kind of fun. So we'll see that. And we've had some years where we've had both coasts make it to the Fremo. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
It's guys bring their modules all the way here to central Nebraska and set up. But
That's
kind of fun. So
it's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. It's stressful getting it all organized, but once we get it going, it's a lot of fun. And for this dad who has hooked his 9-year-old son, I don't get a touch of throttle. So as soon as it's out, he's like, "Dad, where's my throttle?" It's like, you don't own nothing, buddy. But he sits and runs the layout the whole time, and I sit back and chat with everybody. So
he's one of the best operators though you'll ever see as a 9-year-old, and even take his age out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of the best operators out there. You could,
nice.
I guarantee you, Gary, you could let him run your layout, and you wouldn't have any concerns after you watched him. It's just It's pretty crazy watching Joe run trains. So.
That's cool.
Because otherwise, he's pretty wild, right? I have a basement that shows how wild he can get, but but otherwise, it's pretty awesome on the train layout. So.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, that will be. Let's see, is that the 26th and 7th? I think, or 5th and 6th.
I always get off. I think it's the last weekend of April.
Yeah, it's the 26th and 27th this year of April. So, yeah, come on down for that weekend if you're in the area, anybody listening. So, it's a lot of fun. You get to see it if you're interested in Fremo. There's guys to talk to about how you kind of get into it. Don't just stop at the answer of, well, there's follow the standard. Well, there's more. That's the easy out, but there's a lot of guys there that you can talk to and say, hey, I'm interested in this. How what do you recommend? What do you do? Kind of thing, because it can be intimidating to get started. And
Fremo's just one way. I mean, that's to get into it, right? As we know, there's module clubs out there where you can travel and set up with them too. And I think this is just showing off one of those.
One of the ways.
One of the ways, and all that information is good for anybody to how they want to get involved, get started. So.
Right. All right. A lot of great information. I guess before we close this out, you want to tell everybody how can they get a hold of you and the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, the ways to get a hold of us are, of course, via the old telephone. You can call us at 402-365-7628. Or you can order through the website, which is the fastest and easiest way. But if you're not finding what you want, you can also send an email, this is a long one, so it's customer service at springcreekmodeltrains.com. Okay. And on the other end of that, you'll speak to our
sales rep.
Her name is Glenda. She's good at what she does, and she'll get you helped out and get you answered. We do pre-orders, so if you're looking to get something and you want to order it before it comes in, you can always contact us, and we do it you contact us and we'll contact you when it comes in. There's no need to pay for it up front. We also understand that life changes, so if it does change, don't hesitate to let us know.
Yeah, just
communication.
Say,
hey, things have changed. I'm not going to be able to get that. Okay, well, we appreciate you letting us know, because communication is so huge.
Sure.
And model trains is such a small part of everybody's lives. And while, it's a big part of our lives, in the grand scheme of things, there's so much more to life, and we know that things happen, and you got to take care of those things first.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. All right. Any final thoughts or anything you guys would like to say?
Well, Gary, we really appreciate you, hooking us up, being on the podcast here with you. So really appreciate it. I had a great time, with you in Lincoln and stuff. So this has just furthered that. So appreciate what you do for the hobby, and because it's crazy how many different facets you can get into. I would have never dreamed in my life, I don't know, that podcasts would be a thing for model trains, right? Or YouTube videos. It's just so keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna keep trying to support everybody out there on that kind of stuff, and keep bringing stuff to show off and have for people, right? And try to be that customer service that's out there and get you that. So, but yeah, definitely appreciate you. So.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and I guess my thinking is if we all work together, we can all work to teach, promote, and inspire model railroaders. And I don't believe in the hobbies dying, but at least keep it. Let's try to make it more prevalent, out there. So,
yep. There's not a hobby out there, in my opinion, that you can do so many different facets.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
If you want to be a track design engineer, you can do it in the model trains, right? You want to be a construction guy, you can do it, right? Artists, right? Electronics, computer programming. Just anyway.
Oh yeah.
I get jazzed up about that part of it. It's just pretty darn cool. So.
Right. It is. It is. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and hopefully we can have you guys back sometime soon.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yep.
And in my opinion, another great episode, another great interview. Once again, I'm going to say it again. Thank you to Mike and Jeff from Spring Creek Model Trains for coming on here with their busy schedule. Below in the description, we have their website, and we will have the date for we have the information basically they give you for like their July anniversary train show. Check them out. Also, don't forget to check out Broadway Limited at www.broadway-limited.com, as they are a supporter of this podcast. And as we've stated, you have until April 26th, 2025 to get your entry in, one entry per person, to be able to enter in for their gift certificate giveaway. So thank you to Broadway Limited as well for helping us do that and giving us that gift certificate to give away. By all means, if you want to reach out to us, modelrailroadtalk@gmail.com. You can head on over to our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com. Check out what's going on over there. We now have links to our episodes on there, and I try to get them up on Saturdays, posted on there. Sometimes it's not till Sunday, but hey, can't be perfect all the time, even though it'd be nice, but I'm far from it. Also, if you are interested, we are working on getting our apparel line a little bit more. I'm talking with my apparel person, and we're talking with her. I'm looking into getting some ball hats made with the Model Railroad Talk logo on there and our saying, "Keep your train on the tracks." And we have t-shirts up there. We are going to be putting sweatshirts up there once I finalize some stuff there. And I'm looking at getting pricing on a few other promotional items, not only to be able to sell on our website or through our website, but also to have at train shows availability at train shows, because we're looking at doing another train show in July. Got to get the details ironed out basically, but don't forget, we will be at the Iowa City train show in October. We will be posting that on our website here soon. Just got to find time to get on there and get it done with the busy schedule of all these guests coming on here, which is amazing. I love having the guests come on. So, but by all means, reach out to us, modelrailroadtalk@gmail.com. You can go to our website, like we said, www.modelrailroadtalk.com. And if you're interested and you'd like to either call and leave a voice message or send a text message, we won't, unless you give us permission, we won't use it. We might use the story or the communication, but we won't use your name or anything like that. But you can message, or you can either leave a voice message or text messages at 563-293-1212. That is our Model Railroad Talk phone number. While yes, it comes to my phone, I have it more or less kind of silenced. So if you do try to call, I won't be answering it. Just leave a voicemail or send a text message. And if you would like a phone call back, by all means, let me say that in your message. And as soon as I can get some time and get some availability, I will definitely get back to you. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this episode. And as always, our guests that come on here, thank you to Spring Creek Model Trains for taking the time again. And also thank you to Broadway Limited Imports for being a supporter of this show, this podcast. So as we always say, folks, keep your train on the tracks.